Cinematic opening. The rain hit the asphalt like shattered glass as the roar of Harley engines echoed through the narrow road. Lightning flashed, and in that white blaze, a small figure appeared, stumbling from the shadows. A little girl, no older than 7, barefoot, soaked to the bone, her face streaked with tears and mud. She ran straight into the path of the roaring motorcycles. The bikers slammed their brakes, tires screeching, headlights glaring through the mist. The leader, a mountain of a man with a black leather vest stitched with the Hells Angels insignia, yanked off his helmet. The girl screamed through her sobs, "Please! They're beating my mama! Please, help! Before we find out what happened next." Broken heart, if you believe there's still good in this world, hit that like button and subscribe to the Kindness Chronicles. Because what happens next will restore your faith in humanity, and break your heart at the same time. Narrator's voice, cinematic transition. It all started on a quiet Sunday outside Millersville, a forgotten town in Kentucky. The kind of place where the only sound after sunset was the hum of crickets and the occasional truck rattling down Route 9. The Hells Angels chapter riding through that night wasn't looking for trouble, they were heading back from a charity run for a veterans hospital in Louisville. Their president, Jack "Bear" Mathers, was a man known more for his rough past than his soft heart. He'd seen too many bad roads, too many broken people. But nothing, not even years in the club, prepared him for that little girl. The girl. Her name was Lily Parker. 7 years old. Wearing a torn pink nightgown with cartoon unicorns faded by time. Her tiny hands shook as she pointed toward a flickering porch light down an old dirt driveway. "They're hurting my mama," she cried again, voice cracking with desperation. Bear crouched to her level, his deep voice softening. "Who, sweetheart? Who's hurting her?" "The bad man," Lily whispered. "Mama's boyfriend. He's drunk again." The bikers exchanged glances. They weren't cops. They weren't heroes. But in that moment, every one of them felt something shift, a silent agreement that no child should ever beg strangers for help like that. "Tank," Bear said to his second-in-command, "kill the engines. Lights off. We're going quiet." The house. The house stood like a skeleton under the storm, broken porch rails, shattered windows, and the faint sound of screaming inside. Bear felt a familiar fire rising in his chest. He'd grown up in a place like this. A father who came home angry, a mother who cried herself to sleep. He clenched his fists. "Not tonight." He turned to Lily. "You stay right here, darlin'. No matter what you hear, you don't move. You got me?" She nodded, trembling, clutching his leather vest like a lifeline. Bear's boots splashed through the mud as he led his men toward the house. The closer they got, the clearer the sounds became, yelling, glass breaking, and a woman's strangled cry. Then, silence. The break-in. "Bear, what's the play?" whispered Tank. Bear didn't answer. He walked up the porch steps and tried the doorknob. Locked. He took one deep breath, then kicked it open. The wood split with a thunderous crack. Inside, the stench of whiskey filled the air. A man, mid-30s, shirtless, reeking of booze, had his hand raised over a woman crumpled on the floor. Her lip was bleeding. Her hair tangled around her face. Who the hell are you?" the man barked. Bear stepped forward slowly. His voice low, dangerous. "Put your hand down, pal. You don't tell me what to do in my house." The man barely finished before Bear grabbed his wrist, twisting it behind his back and slamming him against the wall. The biker's eyes were dark with something deeper than rage, something personal. "You lay one finger on her again," Bear growled, "and you'll be picking your teeth out of the drywall." Tank and another biker, Bones, checked on the woman. She was shaking, her cheek purple and swollen. "You okay, ma'am?" Tank asked gently. She looked at them, eyes wide with disbelief. You're bikers. Yeah, Bones said, giving her a small smile. Not the kind your boyfriend warned you about. The aftermath. When Bear turned back, the man tried to swing at him. Mistake. Bear ducked, drove his fist into the man's gut, and sent him crashing onto the floor. The guy wheezed, clutching his ribs. Police'll love this story, Bear muttered, dragging him outside by the collar. The woman, Maggie Parker, Lily's mother, stumbled to her feet, still dazed. Please don't hurt him, she said softly. Bear stopped. Ma'am, he's been beaten, you and scarin' your kid. Why the hell not? Because, she hesitated, he wasn't always like this. He used to be good. Then he lost his job, and... Her voice broke. Bear's anger softened. He saw something in her eyes, the same fear his own mother used to hide behind her makeup. He sighed. Tank, call the sheriff. Tell M there's a domestic case out here. Tank nodded, already dialing. The little girl again. Outside, Lily ran up when she saw them dragging the man. Mama, she cried, wrapping her arms around Maggie. Maggie knelt, clutching her daughter, tears mixing with rain. It's okay, baby. It's over. Bear stood back, watching, jaw clenched. Lily looked up at him. Thank you, Mr. Biker. Bear's chest tightened. He wasn't used to being thanked. Most people crossed the street when they saw his colors. But that little girl looked at him like he was something more. He smiled faintly. You're safe now, kiddo. Then the sheriff's car pulled up, red and blue lights cutting through the rain. The sheriff. Sheriff Daniels stepped out, a big man with a graying beard and eyes that recognized Bear instantly. Jack Mathers. Didn't expect to see you here. Bear crossed his arms. We were just passing through, Sheriff. Kid flagged us down. Said her mom was in trouble. Daniels looked around at the scene, the busted door, the bruised woman, the drunk man now cuffed and cursing in the mud. He sighed. You did the right thing this time, Bear. Guess there's a first for everything, Bear muttered. Daniels turned to Maggie. You pressing charges? Maggie hesitated, then looked at her daughter. Yes, she whispered. The sheriff nodded. We'll take it from here. The quiet ride. By the time the police drove away, the storm had eased. The sky was turning pale gray. The bikers stood there, drenched, silent. Maggie walked up to Bear, holding Lily's hand. I don't know how to thank you, she said softly. Bear just shrugged. You don't need to. Just keep her safe. Lily smiled shyly. You look like a bear, she said. Bear chuckled. That's what they call me. She giggled, and for the first time that night, the heaviness in his chest lifted. Goodbye, Bear, she said, waving as they rode off. He raised 2 fingers in a small salute before gunning the engine. But as they disappeared into the distance, something told him that wasn't the last time he'd see that little girl. Before we jump into what happened next, and the jaw-dropping twist that made national headlines. Sparkling Heart, hit like and subscribe to the Kindness Chronicles so you don't miss Chapter 2, where the past comes back in ways no one saw coming.